Okay, welcome back, part 2. Now, join me the next morning. Everything's stripped. I've took the trouble while the swing arm's out to just get the disc and lock this off. This was a little prop that stops the main stand from hitting the exhaust, but that doesn't get ridden with. I don't run a main stand. That's coming off again when this job's done. So I've never needed that. It's always just been in the way, and with the swing arm in the way, you can't get anything more than a hacksaw up in there, if that. It's really awkward and cramped. So while the swing arm's out, just lock that off with a disc. Here's the swing arm, all ready. Giving it a coat of black, finest blackboard, and that should dry off in about an hour or so. It just had this hideous Suzuki written up the side, if you remember yesterday's video, and it was a grey powder coat all over it with that Suzuki bit mapped or masked out. It had some chips up here. This was a bit scratched, so being as I won't be able to get to all this front once it's in, it's a good chance to do it. And of course you might say, fabulous new swing arm, and you're giving it brush paint with blackboard paint, but then it's going to protect it, because I'm going to neglect the bike. It is a survival rat bike. It doesn't get washed or cleaned. Good thick coat, and I mean a really thick heavy coat of water-based blackboard paint. That's going to protect it. That's going to keep the corrosion off the alloy. I've left the billet adjusters because they just look cool. I want them to be seen. All ready with sprocket as of last night. So I just got to let this dry, and then it's time to start inserting it up the rear. Get a longer one up your rear. You love it. Ha! Stick around, stay tuned. Let's see what happens. Right, 2 hours. And there it is. Puffing and grunting. It didn't want to go in because, contrary to the eBay sale listing that it's for a Bandit 1200, it is GSX-R11 because it said so at the front. And this width across the top was 2mm wider, and it just wasn't going in. I managed to lever it in with the bar of doom, but it then wouldn't move much. So out came the lapper, and I just took the powder coat off the inside of the frame and took the alloy shoulders just off the outside of those two fittings, and gradually 1, 2, 3, 4 different faces, just a little lap on each face, 1/2 mil off each, and it's slotted in perfectly, so that's fine. Fitting stuff like this that's not meant to go in your bike is always about fabricating. It's always about getting over problems. Like, for instance, this section here is wider by 10mm than that section there on the old swing arm, so it meant a longer bolt, and it was fatter. It was 13mm instead of 10mm, so as you can see I've had to put big fat bolt of doom in there. That ain't going anywhere. Just a big nylock nut. Little bit of common sense. It is wider, so what I've done at the bottom of the dog bones, they are pulled in by about 1 mil, which is perfectly fine over that length. Just put a couple of copper washers on the inside to space them out, because that's obviously narrower. That's the original short link. So just little problems really, little bits and bobs. But just check that out. The axle is now underneath the tail unit. It was underneath the rear seat. That is significantly back. The back wheel is going to be out here in space. Hee, love it. Right, that's all for now. Front sprocket's on. That was a piece of cake. Pretty easy job. You just get a little screwdriver, a little stubby one, put it up against there, lodge it against there. You just do it up nice and gently. Does not need loads of lever. Don't have to lean on that. Just do it up nice and firmly, and then, as you can see there, you got the lock tab. Oops, just lock the lock tab over. So that's ready to go. The sprocket carrier's over there. That will go in the back wheel, and the back wheel's going in now. I need 2 hands, so I'm going to have to put you down. Got a longer one in. There it is. Everything's working so far, getting over the problems. Stick around, stay tuned. Let's move on to the next bit, the wheeling. There we go. 8 inches longer. Chains on. That's it for one day. That is at least 4 inches lower, and it's going to be proper slammed. So there you go. That's all for today. Had enough for one afternoon. Thanks for tuning in and watching Delboy's Garage. See you next time.